welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another closer look at an album, a rock album. Today we're looking at a classic rock album from the early 70s called Deep Purple, made in Japan, which is once again another live album, and it's been re-released in this super deluxe 50th kind of anniversary set, which I haven't long since added this to my collection. So we're going to have a deeper look at this. So let's not waste time. Let's have a deep down look at this release from Deep Purple. So here we are then, guys. Here is the closer look at the 50th anniversary box set of Deep Purple's Made in Japan, which came out, maybe been last year, can't remember now, but it's quite new to me, so I'm really happy to have this in my collection. It's my first Deep Purple album, so again, the band's new to me, so I know they've been about for years, but I've kind of missed them out, and kind of wish I hadn't, because I have listened to this, and I'll tell you what I think about the album in a minute. So let's have a look in the box. It comes in a nice box. It's a hardback box with good quality. This was on the back of the box. I have preserved the sticker, which is in there. It says Deep Purple 50, 5 CDs Blu-ray Deluxe Edition, includes 2025 Steven Wilson stereo and Atmos mix of the album, 3 complete concerts from 1972 tour of Japan, remixed by Richard Digby Smith, a 40-page book with new interview with Steven Wilson, and a replica poster and tour book. So it comes with this. This was on the back, which has got the track listings. It comes with a poster. Guys, the poster is absolutely ginormous. As you can see, you probably can't see all of it there, but it's a replica of the poster made in Japan. This is the replica tour program, which would have been out in Japan. So it's going to be in Japanese. Really nice. Really nice. And there's Abbott there for Machine Head. So that's the tour program. Then we've got the booklet, which we will have a look at in a minute. So first, let's dig out the CDs, the discs. They're all in individual sleeves. So if we just pop this aside for a moment, we can have a look at the disc. So the first one is Made in Japan, the Steven Wilson remix, in the replica cover from back in the day. It was a single album, and the albums come in an anti sort of static kind of sleeve in a purple. This is the original album, produced by Deep Purple but remixed by Steven Wilson. So the track listing on the concert is Highway Star, Child in Time, Smoke on the Water, The Mule, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy Tokyo, and Space Trucking is the track listing for the concerts, and they've actually put the dates on there from when the tracks were recorded, and that's the Steven Wilson mix. Next up is Made in Japan, disc 2. This is Osaka, August the 15th, 1972. Yeah, it does have tracks from one track from there on here. And the listing is Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Child in Time, The Mule, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy, and Space Trucking. The lineup of the band is Richie Blackmore lead guitar, Ian Gillan on vocals, Roger Glover bass, John Lord organ on piano, and Ian Pace on drums. Disc 3 is Osaka, August 16th, 1972. Track listing's the same. Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Child in Time, The Mule, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy, and Space Trucking. Disc 4 is in Tokyo on August the 17th, 1972. Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Child in Time, The Mule, Strange Kind of Woman, Lazy, and Space Trucking. I see that they've mixed the tracks up slightly to the original album. Oops, they all come in that sleeve, guys, and they all look the same. And disc 5 is the encores and single edits. So on the encores we have Black Knight and Speed King, which is from Osaka, the August 15th, 1972. Black Knight and Lucille from Osaka on August the 16th, 1972. Black Knight, Speed King from Tokyo, August the 17th, 1972. Single edits are Black Knight German live single edit, Space Trucking Mexican live single edit, and Smoke on the Water US live single edit. And the final disc is the Blu-ray of the album in the different sort of sound qualities from Dolby Atmos, all again done by Steven Wilson. So they are the CDs, which are really, really nice. They're all single sleeved apart from the original album, which is in the gatefold style. We'll pop those into the box here, so I'm not chasing them around, and we'll have a quick look at the book. It gives you a little breakdown of the original album credits, and there's the band lineup again of Ian Gillan, Richie Blackmore, Roger Glover, John Lord and Ian Pace. The track listings. Quote there from Slash about the album. These are other people that like the album, that have said things nice about it. We've got Bruce Dickinson here and Chad Smith and Lars, whoever he is. I don't know. I don't listen to Metallica. So loads of musicians talking about their influence from listening to this album. We've got Phil Collin from Def Leppard, Martin Brundle, F1 driver, Joey Tempest, Leslie West, all seem to be shouting out this album. David Freak, Alex Skolnick, Tommy Shaw, Phil Demore, Adrian Vandenberg. So it's obviously been a very highly influential album to a lot of people and a lot of other musicians. And amongst that we have a few stories about the tour and things like that with the band. And of course we have some rare photos of the band. There's Ian there, looking quite young. Then we've got some lyrics. It's quite hard to think there's so many lyrics because a lot of the work is quite instrumental, so it's quite actually yeah. Then we've got a discography showing you all the different releases of Made in Japan. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got like all the catalogue numbers and stuff of all the releases of this album over the years. So that is the booklet that comes with this set. So say it's got these great live albums, and it also has the program, the booklet, and a poster. So we'll pop that over there, and we'll pop that back on there. And that is a closer look at Deep Purple's Made in Japan. as you can see, it's a lovely little box set. It's not as big and deluxe as loads of other box sets, but for what this is, it's fantastic. There seems to be quite a common trait with these live albums. We've had Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. We've had Live and Dangerous, Thin Lizzy. We've had Status Quo, Quo Live, and they've all done the same kind of thing, where they've re-released and had remixed and remastered the original album, and then it's had 3 or 4 concerts of the concerts that were used to create live album. Because back in this day, not all songs were from that one show. What they would do, they would get the best recording from each, because every night is different. So some nights the songs might not sound as good, or they might mess up on something, or the singer's voice weren't as good. So they pick out the best tracks from those nights and they combine it into making one sort of classic album of that tour. Which these days is not as common. This day is generally the whole show is recorded and put out the way it is, which in a way I quite like, because if you're at that show, you think, wow, that's the whole show. But so when something like this happens, like there's a new Soft Cell box set come out called The Art of Falling Apart, and they've got a live disc of the tracks from there. But I went to see them in 1983 at Hammersmith Palais when the album come out, and they toured it, and it was fantastic. But on that live disc, there's only 2, maybe 3 tracks from that show. All the rest are from different shows and more up-to-date shows, so it doesn't kind of fit in. But in these albums, it works. Because it does run through like it's one sort of concert, like the Quo one does. It plays through like one concert, and so does the Motorhead one. But it's not done as largely today. Today it's more like I said, it'd be the whole show. But back then it was recorded from 3 or 4 different nights. So what they've done in these sets is release those nights in entirety. So that's pretty cool. It can be a little excessive, because like if it's the same track listing every night, it can be a little excessive, because this does have the same set list pretty much every song. But it's cool to have all those nights in there, and it's a great little set. This is my introduction to Deep Purple, because I don't own anything by them. I've just always been interested lately over the last few years, so now finally I do. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. The sound is fantastic. Steven Wilson is an absolute genius at sort of not recovering, but maybe reintroducing and re-vibrant these old songs and making them sound awesome. And he's done a great job on this. I've only listened to the main album. I will listen to the other ones in my own time, but I've listened to the main album and it sounds incredible. And I've fallen in love with Deep Purple simply because of that mix. It's just fantastic. Really, really cool. I suppose most Deep Purple fans will have this and they'll be, how comes you've never listened to Deep Purple before? I was in a different place at this time. I mean, when this came out, I was a wee band, but when I got into music, I wasn't really into heavy rock. I was into post-punk, and I was into pub rock. I liked Ian Dury and the Blockheads. I liked Dr. Feelgood, Toyah, all these one, XTC, 9 Below Zero. I was listening to all that kind of music until I got into my more new wave scene when the electronic came along with Tube Army and that. But before that, I was into that sort of thing. And also, I loved David Bowie and some of the glam rock, T-Rex, Slade. I liked all that music, but I kind of missed out the heavy rock. I didn't get into things like Led Zeppelin and Sabbath and that until later on in my life. You know, as I've got older and as my music taste changed, your music taste always evolving and it changes, which I think is a healthy way to be. To be listening to the same songs for all my life would be like, well, I've not expanded myself, have I? Or I haven't sort of like gone any further. I do still listen to a lot of that music. I still listen to Gary Newman, Tubeway Army, Ultravox, XTC, 9 Below Zero. I still listen to all of that. Slade. I'm going through a Slade fad again at the moment. But I'm introducing other things that I've missed, like Deep Purple. There's some other bands I'm quite interested in checking out. Caravan, Little Feat, but I've just not got round to checking any of their music out yet. But I will. But at the moment, I've got this and I'm loving it, and I highly recommend you checking it out. Cheers, guys.